What's going on, my Central Unit Galaxy? It's the Central Man here. So this is going to be a brand new show I'm going to do. It's just me talking about wrestling. Um, this is kind of a reboot. I did like an original show called Talk Central Man, or was it Talk No, not Talk Central Man. I think it's Central Man talking gossip. I just talk about football and pro wrestling. And then I kind of like discontinue it. Yeah, just like I don't know because I was like not really bothered doing it, and decided to do reboot the talk and gossip and just call it talk wrestling, just talk about pro wrestling. So yeah, so I done yeah I done a I done a list. Yeah, I done a list. Sorry, I'm kind of stirring. You know, haven't really done a StreamYard for quite some time. So anyway, so I done a list, rumors, for WWE and AEW. Trying to keep it short and simple. Probably give it like an hour, hour and a half. So anyway, so like let's start off with I did about not a lot of AEWs. I've had two rumors story in WWE. No, four in WWE, two in AEWs. They're just rumors. They're not really like true, but trying to get my opinions on it. So one second. Yeah. Anyway, um, so the one story I'm going to talk about is Vince McMahon refusing to release Andrade. I call him Andrade. I can't pronounce his like ring name. So looks like Andrade, yeah, Andrade is wants to leave, and Vince not he's refusing to release Andrade. I think it's like Andrade's upset about his like run, really his state in his career in WWE. I feel sorry about him. Andrade, he's a good, he's a good worker. I don't know about a good talker, but he's a good worker. Sorry, stumbling, but yeah, good in the ring. He can get over, and then also then like he's but like a loser since being called up to the main roster in 2018. Um, and then all of a sudden, Selena Vega has been working with an Andre since his running NXT. She got released in the summer. I think it was the summer. Yeah, summer. Over the Union Twitch. I don't want to get into it. I did a video on Selena Vega got released a couple months back, and now Vince is refusing to release an Andrade. It's just like, what the hell? I felt sorry for Andrade. He's a good worker. At least he's won a championship in WWE. In NXT he was a NXT champion, and in the main roster he's a United States champion. Don't know about did he win a Raw Tag Team Championship as well with Angel Garza? I don't think so. But yeah, it's just like ridiculous how Vince is just so stubborn. He's not letting his workers. I think AEW's pressuring Vince. You know, he did with Luke Harper in 2019 before he signed to AEW about 1 year ago. Yeah, 1 year ago. Yeah, rest in peace, Brody Lee. But yeah, yeah, because the story that back in the day that Vince, because Luke Harper wants to leave WWE, but Vince denied him, put well, basically 6 months onto his contract to stop him to go to AEW, and then when the 6 months was up, he went to AEW. I don't know if they, Vince added 6 months in Andrade's contract. So far in March, so we've got March, April, so April, May, June, July. August, September. I say he'll be, by time in September, he'll be leaving. If he added 6 months to the contract, I think it's bullshit, man. I think like, what kind of person, what kind of like, this dude is so foreign touch. Not letting your talent go into another company. They're unhappy. You know. 1 second. I think I got someone there. 1 second. I got a guest on. I swear to God, I got a guest. Yeah, so 1 second. 1 second, folks. I swear to God, I got a guess. I'm moving. I'm going to talk up a little bit more of this Andrade thing a little bit soon. 1 second. Anyway, I swear to God, someone's on the gas. I'm guessing like the one's in the stream. Anyway, let's get back to this story. Yeah, like Vince is just an old bastard. He's just not letting his talent leaving. Probably go to the Indies or maybe AEW. But yeah, Andrade's. I think it's a waste of that's a waste of talent. Andrade's he's good and he's good in the ring. Not really his mic skills. I think you got like Selena Vega as the mouthpiece. That dude could be. I'm not saying he's going to be world champion, but he could be a world champion. I could see him do well in the mid card, and then maybe a world title shot a year or two. But no, Vince has to book him like a loser. I don't understand why, but yeah, he's I don't know. I think he's engaged with Charlotte Flair. It's good for them, because it's really funny that Charlotte Flair's getting that big push. They pushed her straight to the moon since she's got signed to the company. And hey, Remington, hey Ram, you want it? You want to join? You want to join the stream? Or are you good? Are you busy? Anyway, so yeah, it's very funny that Charlotte Flair, she's getting the push. She got the push since she got signed to the company. They pushed her in NXT. They pushed her in the main roster. She was NXT Women's Champion, multiple time Raw Women's Champion. She multiple time SmackDown Women's Champion. And now all of a suddenly, she's now the tag team champions with Asuka. If I wasn't at the gym, I'm reading the contents, reading the comments. So, if I wasn't at the gym, I would. Bud, what are you talking about? Oh, just talking about pro wrestling. It's just like I'm just like trying to put some guests into the stream. Like having everyone part of the stream, but you don't have to. I'm just asking. I'm not making people join in the stream for no reason. Just like they don't have to, they don't want to. Anyway, so moving on to I'm trying to move on to the next one. So yeah, it's really funny. Like Charlotte Flair, she's getting this push. She's been pushed since day one. And Andrade, nope, not getting that push. Not getting that push. And yeah, the gym, boy. My gym, I have to wait until April the 12th. April the 12th till my gym is open because still middle of this lockdown. Yeah, but it's really funny that Charlotte's getting that massive push, but Andrade, he's buried. Yeah, it doesn't mean shit being Rey Mysterio, but being Rey Mysterio, that could be elevate Andrade. Rey Mysterio is a former world champion. But instead he's just like Vince is refused. Just let that dude get released. He's unhappy. Why can't this old bastard get with the times? So let's move on to the next story. The next story is NXT moving to. It's like this is a rumor. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. This is NXT's moving to Tuesday nights. So this is just a rumor. It's not going to be. Oh, this is confirmed. No, it's not confirmed. But yeah. The rumors like NXT is likely. NXT is likely is going to move to Tuesday night. So likely the Wednesday night era is going to be over. The Wednesday night war is going to be officially over if it's confirmed. I don't think it's true or not, but let's be honest about the Wednesday night war between NXT and Dynamite. It's fucking flopped. The reason why it's flopped, it's not like before. I need a piss. 1 second. Anyway, so yeah, it's not like the Wednesday Night War was flopped. It's not like that. It's like what's it accomplish? It's not really accomplish anything. Um, it's it's just basically the basically Vince just thrust NXT in that position because if it's Raw and SmackDown competing with Dynamite, it'd be the same as AEW will blow Raw and SmackDown out of the water. That's 100% fact. If they, if it's true, this is behind the scenes stuff. But with NXT, they beat Dynamite once or twice, but throughout the whole bulk of this Wednesday Night War, it's been Dynamite. It's 100% fact, and they're gonna bring up the ratings. I see these anti-smarks gonna bring up the ratings. They're gonna bring up the ratings 100%. And they go, that since AEW's been formed to bring up the ratings, crapping on Dynamite. But let's be honest, Dynamite's better than SmackDown. Not SmackDown, NXT. With NXT, I covered some NXT shows. I'm trying to get back reviewing NXT shows. With these NXT shows, they're good. I'm not saying they're fantastic. They're good, but Dynamite's they do much better than NXT. Sorry, I'm kind of stumbling. This is the problem. This is the problem why there's no way NXT is competing with AEW. It's not going to happen. I knew when I find out that AEW is competing with NXT. I love my ass off. I'm not saying I'm shitting on NXT. I don't hate NXT, but the only reason why Vince put NXT in that limelight, put in that position to compete with AEW's Dynamite, to see it fail, and it failed. I'm not saying NXT failed, but there's no way near they're competing with AEW Dynamite. Like I said, if it was Raw or SmackDown compete with Dynamite, AEW Dynamite will blow Raw and SmackDown out of the water. It's kind of it's going to be 100% fact. I like NXT. I like the NXT stars. I like the was the wave and kind of with a Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, if that's her name, Austin Theory. Sadly, the Undisputed Era is gone. I like Shotzi Blackheart, Xia Li. Fucking like that woman. they've got the talent, but it's just like I think AEW's roster is way better than NXT's roster. They got the major stars like Jericho, Cody, um, think Darby Allin, Karashida, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, SCU. Um, see, major stars. Yeah, they just signed Sting, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks. Man, it's confusing calling it Sparks and Starks. Starks has probably yeah, he's not related to Tony Stark. But yeah, the difference is, like NXT is an underground promotion. I understand it's under the WWE's umbrella. It's under the WWE's umbrella. It's developmental compared to AEW. It's a major company. It's run by Tony Khan. Actually, it's run by the Khans. I think most of the bulk it's Tony Khan running AEW instead of his father. His father is just focused on the two businesses. He's running was it the Jacksonville Jaguars in the NFL. He's running the English football team, football club Fulham in England. But it's mostly Tony Khan, Cody, Young Bucks, Brandy. List goes on and on and on. Compared to NXT, look at the commentating for AEW. It's way better than man. One of these days, I need to do the comparison between NXT and AEW. The commentary team in AEW is way better than the NXT commentary team. With the commentary team in NXT, it's Beth Phoenix, Vic Joseph, Wade Barrett. It's decent, but with AEW's commentary team, you got Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Excalibur. Sometimes Jericho be on commentary, same as Taz. Because they got rid of Mauro Ranallo. It's a shame. That's a big blow. Ranallo's a good commentator. I like that commentator. I like that commentator. So I was drinking my Coke. It's just rumors. I don't think they're gonna leave Wednesday nights and go to do their shows on Tuesday nights. But it's not working. The NXT side is not working. It's not really like they're beating AEW on a regular basis because they'll beat they beat AEW Dynamite once or twice, but AEW beaten throughout the whole bulk of this war, this rating war. If they tend to, if they beat them, if they have, I don't know, they can really put the show, they can really like try, but they can't. It's a two different ball game. I think they're trying best. I think they try and fail. Not disrespect NXT, but NXT is not going to be AEW Dynamite because Vince is a dumbass. The point in that thrust in that situation that he cannot compete because he's too busy. He's too lazy to focus on his product, the main roster product, Raw and SmackDown. No way. It's like with NXT, I feel sorry for Triple H. Triple H in that put in that situation. You have to focus on putting on a great show week by week, but it's not. NXT shows they turn out to be good to great shows. Not great shows, but take good to great, amazing, great takeover shows. But in the regular NXT shows, they just put on decent shows. With AEW shows, they pull up some decent, good, great shows. I think it's not. I don't think it's going to move back to Tuesday nights. If they tend to do that, that'll be the end of the Wednesday night war thing. It's likely AEW Dynamite's won this war. Let's be real. NXT's never got a one foothold of this reign war. There's no way they're going to do that. There's no way they're going to overturn Dynamite. It's too different because NXT is a developmental territory. AEW is a major company. It's on a major network. They're mostly doing their shows at the Daily Palace. They were doing shows before this pandemic. They were doing the same arenas they do for Raw and SmackDown. They're releasing I think they released a mobile game, and they're gonna release a video game later on in the year. They just released a lot of merchandise. They released some action figures. You know, they're doing well. With NXT, they're doing the same. You know, not like NXT's releasing a video game because NXT is part of WWE. Still making merchandise, but they're no way fucking near. They're competing with. Sorry, the cats distract me, but there's no way near they're competing with AEW. You know, so I don't know how they did that. It's not gonna happen. You know, Vince is just use it as a pawn because if it's Raw and SmackDown, no fucking way. Because Raw, it's been a bad show for for years now. SmackDown, they sometimes they had a good year, but most of the time had a bad year. But like Raw and SmackDown, the only beacon of hope with those shows, with Raw, you got the Hurt Business. SmackDown, you got Roman Reigns, you know, the Tribal Chief and Daniel Bryan and Edge, you know. But it's still not a great product. But so yeah, NXT, you know, so you know, if it's going to win, if it's staying on Wednesday night, if it's the same result, you know, NXT sometimes beat Dynamite in the reigns, but most of the time Dynamite beat NXT, you know, throughout, you know, week by week. They've been doing it since October. You know, by the time October, it's been 2 years since the start of the Wednesday Night Wars. You know, that fucking ratings war needs to end. It's not work. It's not working. It's not like Raw and Nitro, because Raw and Nitro, it was good. It was good at the time because, you know, WCW, you know, they're on that same position as AEW. I'm not comparing, but they're on that same position. They're on a major network, TNT. Um, they never put up some great shows. A couple of these Nitro shows in those 95, 96, or the first half of 96. I haven't got to the second half of 96 yet. They turned out to be just okay shows, but not fantastic shows compared to Monday Night Raws. Like these Raws in 95s and 96, they were not that great. They were okay, but they're just terrible to okay. I think the legends like those 1997 Raw shows, they were fucking good. You know, with the Hart Foundation, Austin, DX. You know, it was it was two different eras at the time because one by the time in 1996, Nitro took on pole position being Raw in the ratings with all cruiserweights and the NWO, and then Raw up the ante with with DX, Austin, McMahon, Hart Foundation, you know. So yeah, sorry I'm stumbling, but NXT, for NXT, it's just not really a company. If it was a company, maybe, just maybe they could have a shot. But since it's developmental, you know, the reason why Vince is putting that, you know, in that situation, it's just basically Vince just too lazy because at this moment his beloved XFL flop. Sorry, need a drink. Yeah, his precious XFL flopped. It kind of cancelled due to the COVID pandemic, and then Vince is too lazy what to do. I wish Vince just sold the company, give it to Triple H. You know, if you know, I don't know because they're not signing big stars because it's developmental. You know, they're focused on the new talent. They're not focused on with AEW. Yeah, they're signing like old guys. They're signing like major stars, former world champions like Big Show is kind of like meh. Christian, you know, he might have a decent run with AEW. Sting, who's just basically, I think he's basically a semi-retired. He'll probably have one or two matches, but he's not the same Sting from TNA because at this moment at that time, because Sting in the mid 2000s, in those 2000s, still in his prime. And then by the time in the late early to mid 2000s, going into this decade, he was past his prime. You know, he had a decent showing in Revolution in that street fight, you know, between him and Darby Allin taking on Brian Cage and Ricky Sparks. Starks, sorry. Why I keep saying Sparks? Starks. Ricky Starks, Team Taz, but I don't see Sting's wrestling full time. I don't see Sting winning another world title. He's pulling over the young talent. If they, if NXT moves to if they move to Tuesday nights, it'd be good for NXT. You don't need to, I'll be like, if I was Triple H, I'd go fuck that. I'm not competing with Wednesday nights. Why would I compete with Wednesday nights? We know we're not gonna win. Like Jericho said, this is like 2 years ago. Said like they don't want to focus on WWE. If it's it don't mean shit because the Reign Wars flopped because Dynamite is a better show than NXT. So I'm like repeating myself. It's kind of true. They thrust in that limelight for no reason because Raw and SmackDown was shit. I know it's still early about Raw and SmackDown shit. Raw's absolute shit. SmackDown maybe SmackDown. I don't mind seeing SmackDown Dynamite competing, but maybe SmackDown can have a chance. So let's move on to the next one. So I've got plenty of time, so I'm trying to keep it about an hour and a half. Sorry, I'm stumbling. That's the problem doing a live stream. Always like stumbling. It's not really rehearsed compared to if you do like a normal regular video. It's you got more time to get out and trying to write a script. I don't really write scripts. You're trying to say it in the heart. So the next one is Brock Lesnar. This is another rumor. Brock Lesnar returns at WrestleMania 37. This is a rumor. I'm trying to keep it short and simple. Nah, Brock Lesnar's not going back to WWE. He just left last summer. I don't want to see him coming back to. I think the only reason why he might come back to WrestleMania, wrestle one more time in the WWE at WrestleMania, Bobby Lashley. That will be fucking good. I want to see Lashley defeat Brock, but I can see once again Vince is going to do having Lashley dropping the title to Lesnar at WrestleMania. This is my predictions and my theory. And then you have Brock holding the belt once again, and once again same shit. Barely shows up on Raw, and mostly Raw because the WWE title is a Raw branded title. Depending if they're doing a draft, he'll probably do this thing, setting his ass on TV with the championship, and wait until probably SummerSlam to compete. He only shows up in the Big Four pay-per-views. Sometimes maybe showed up in a B-rated pay-per-view, but I'm tired of that shit. That's the reason why the few years with Brock as champion don't mean shit, because Brock is a bad champion. He was a good champion back in like 2002, 2003, but in like 2014, he's reigning 2014 to 2015. His first Universal title run between 2017 2018. His I think he's a multiple. I think he's a two or three-time Universal champion, two-time WWE champion. No, he's four-time WWE champion, or five times. It's so long. I lost count, but I'm just tired of the reigns of Brock Lesnar since he came back in 2012. He's a part-timer. He don't give a shit about the product. He doesn't. He's a worst champion. If Brock has come back to play over Bobby Lashley, granted they're old because Brock is in his soon to be in his mid-40s. I think Lashley is in his mid-40s as well, but the difference with Lesnar and Lashley, Lesnar's a part-timer, and Lashley is still an active guy in the roster. I'm just getting sick of this Brock Lesnar for shit. What's going to accomplish? Nothing. If they return to WrestleMania, there's like back in the day. I'm sick of these part-timers, hugging the spot in WrestleMania. I know they're still in the active roster. Edge is in the title picture with Roman Reigns. I think he's facing Bryan at Fastlane. I think it's Bryan. No, I think Bryan's facing Reigns at Fastlane. But I want to see, Reigns versus Edge. Edge gets one more run with the title. I'll be good. At least Edge will be, probably have one or two matches. On SmackDown, probably defend it on a pay-per-view, and then have a short run with the title, and then he probably drop the title, whether it's a Reigns or Bryan, and then he move on to his what he's going to do after wrestling. He's an actor. He'll probably focus on his acting career. You know, his time as a pro wrestler is done. Lesnar, the only reason why they're gonna bring Lesnar back, money, 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 money. You know, I blame Vince for this situation. That's the reason why those 2017s, 2018s, 2019s WWEs have been shit. Yeah, it's been shit for years, but like in the world title pitch, I think for the WWE and the Universal title, because the pay per views can't suffer without the world championship was not on the line with Brock as champion. You know, you haven't like let's see, holding the title for 1 year until about the Universal title. He dropped it at SummerSlam, and then he won it again. What was it against Elizabeth Short this time? Let's see, you know, I think it was, yeah, he won the Universal title again. I think it was 3 times, 3 or 4 times. Yeah, 3 times. So, he won the title again against in that crappy Crown Jewel pay-per-view in 2018. He dropped the title to Rollins at WrestleMania. Give him a 4-month reign, but he barely shows up on Raw or SmackDown, depending if it's going towards a Big Four pay-per-view. He dropped, he's short his title reign as Universal Champion once against Seth Rollins. He won the title at Money in the Bank. No, he won the title at Stomping. What was it called? Stomping Ground. That shit. That's a shit name. And he won the briefcase at Money in the Bank. And now he cashed in the briefcase at Stomping Ground the following month, and he dropped that at SummerSlam. At least it was a short reign, and then he was WWE champion. Won the title from Kofi Kingston, dropped it at WrestleMania 36 last year. I'm sick of the reigns because he never shows up. At least with The Rock, when Rock was champion, when he won the title from CM Punk at the Royal Rumble in 2013, he was showing up on Raw, just Raw and SmackDown. Yeah, I'm glad he wasn't wrestling in Raw and SmackDown. At least he was on TV. Not like Brock, he only shows up. Every time when Brock's showing up with Paul Heyman, he stands there, don't do anything, don't say anything. And I'm sick of Brock Lesnar's character. He's shit. If it was the 2002, 2003 Brock Lesnar character, maybe. At least when Brock is interacting. Yeah, I totally agree that Brock is not really, he's not really good on the mic. But at least you can he's interacting, he's saying something, and doing something. He just stands there, not do anything. It's just like it gets annoying. It's really gets it's a disinterest. I'm trying to say disinterest of the character. I hope it's not true. Hope it's not true. For the reason for the Lashley match, that'll be a money-making match. Two big motherfuckers who used to fight in MMA. The face of, I don't know if Lashley was the face of MMA. UFC versus Bellator fighting in WrestleMania. That'll be good to see. Only hope it's for one match. I want to see Lashley defeat Lesnar. I don't want to see Lesnar defeating Lashley, hold the title, and it'll be the same shit again. That whole repeating cycle, because 2020, at least the world title was defended in pay-per-views instead of like one was defended on the pay-per-view, other not so much. Because what's really the point doing a brand split with what's one having two world titles if one title is on the line of one pay-per-view, the other not so much. So why can't just merge the title together? If they're not going to go take that 2 world title belt seriously. I don't get it. I do not get it. So, I don't think it's going to happen. Look, I'm sick of the part-timers, Last year's WrestleMania, you had just The Undertaker, John Cena, Goldberg. This year, so far it's Edge. No Triple H, no John Cena. Brock is maybe if he's facing Lashley, because so far I think the WWE title picture needs a serious competitor for Lashley, because he defeated The Miz on Raw to win his first world championship in WWE, because he was a world champion in TNA / Impact Wrestling. And I think he was a world champion in Bellator in the MMA. But it's gonna be. I don't mind facing Drew at WrestleMania because they fought before. They had a good match at an awesome match at Backlash last year. But I think Miz's time is at an end. I don't want to get in Miz's reign. That would be because it's barely a reign because he's held the title for 8 days. I think they're just because Lashley is legit. He's dominating. He's on fire. So that'd be good to see. Lashley Lesnar for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. That'd be good. I don't know about the buy rate because we're in the post buy rate era of the WWE because it's the network era, still in the network era because I don't care if they're in moving to Peacock or merging with Peacock. So moving on to the next one, the next story. So it's AEW's Revolution. It's been 2 weeks since the Revolution pay-per-view. 1 second, need a piss. Okay, I'm back. So next story is AEW's Revolution. It's been 2 weeks since the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. They received 125,000 pay-per-view buys. This is their 10th pay-per-view since the formation of AEW nearly 2 years ago. I'd say the pay-per-view buy rate for AEW's pay-per-views, they're doing good. They're doing absolutely good. Amazing. Because I think WWE's buy rates are absolute piss poor. I know they're doing buy rates. I think their buy rates are very low compared to AEW's buy rates. They're fucking good. They're into the 100,000s. It's proof that they're doing well in the they're doing well they're doing well, absolutely well. I think it's between 100 to 120,000, and they're doing 125,000. Yeah, that fiasco in the main event between Moxley and Omega in the barbed wire match, with the explosion. Come on now, that was dumb. But they did do well in the buy rate. They produced a good show. It's still doing shows in the Delhi Palace. I think the original plans they're trying to do a show, trying to do the Double or Nothing show for this year in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, it's in the since it's still in the pandemic, so it's still in Florida. Things might change, because WrestleMania this year is going to be in Tampa. Don't Ooh, I think I got a bit of a Wi-Fi issue. Anyway, 125,000 pay-per-view buys for AEW's Revolution 2021. That was good. That's good for AEW. That proves that AEW is doing well. Yeah, they're doing fantastic. Not doing amazing, but they're doing good. They're on the right direction. I see these people shitting on AEW for the last 2 years because they think it's gonna be like 1990s pro. It's gonna be like WCW's. It's not. Yeah, just because it's on a major the same network because it's on TNT, it doesn't mean it's going to be on the same level. I'm glad they're on that. Glad they're doing well. I'm glad they do. Producing good pay-per-views. The pay-per-views they turn out to be good to great shows. They will continue to do that. The momentum is still on an all-time high. They're not going to lose momentum. They lose a bit of momentum, but they're not going to lose all momentum. People are before the pandemic, the arenas, their shows in Dynamite and pay-per-views, they're filling out arenas. They're not doing they're not sold it out, but they are filling fans in the arenas. But this is pre-pandemic. They're you can tell they're on the right direction. People already give a shit. You can tell it's an alternative to the WWE, because look at WWE's shows. I'm talking about Raw and SmackDown before the pandemic. They were doing shows in half arenas. Their pay-per-views half arenas instead of WrestleMania and their big four pay-per-views. Actually, just WrestleMania and Royal Rumbles, not SummerSlam and Survivor Series. With AEW's attendance. I'm not saying it's all time high, but it's just like it's filling out. They're filling out the arenas before the pandemic in 2019 and the first quarter of 2020. It's glad they did the buy rate. I think I don't know if I could see one of these days. I could see going up to maybe 300,000 or even like 10,000. If they do it right. You can tell they're doing well. They're working with Impact Wrestling. They're working with New Japan and ROH as well. Compared to WWE, like they're not working with another wrestling company. What's the last time they worked with a wrestling company? With WCW, they're working with New Japan, Mexico. They work with UWF, not the Earl Haben's UWF, but a different UWF. Because the reason why they did work with New Japan and in Mexico, because that really planted the seeds of the cruiserweight division. With AEW's working with those major promotions like Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, formerly known as TNA, and New Japan, or soon to be working with New Japan, because New Japan used to work with Ring of Honor. Yeah, they didn't do well. They had a bit of a buzz, but not saying they're competing, because the roster was very low. Yeah, I congrats with AEW with a good buy rate. They're on the right direction. They're on the right track. I'm not saying it's a fantastic product. Wrestling, it's not going to be fantastic, but you can tell it's getting good. They're producing good shows, pay-per-view wise and weekly show wise. Dark, I'm not a big fan of Dark. It needs to scrap Dark or change the format of Dark. Sorry about that. So yeah, like I said, they're doing well. They're on the right direction. It's not a perfect product, but it was a good product. Compared to WWE, it's still suffering. Been suffering ever since, for years. It's good for AEW. The Revolution pay-per-view got a fantastic pay-per-view buy. Anyway, so moving on to the next one. The next one this is another rumor. We got Kurt Angle. This is rumors like he's going to AEW. This is rumors. I think he's teasing like he wants to wrestle in AEW. That Angle in AEW, that'll be good. That'll be good to see. Angle going to AEW, because I think he'll probably have one more run, because he haven't wrestled since 2019. I think it was WrestleMania 35. I think the last time Angle appeared in pro wrestling was in NXT. In the fight pit match between Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle. Angle. He might be past his prime, depending if he's in good shape. I think he's still in good shape. He's 50 years old. You probably bring legit into the AEW product, because look at the signing. Yeah, they're signing old guys, but they're signing big stars like a Christian Cage, like a Sting, like Paul White, or Kurt Angle. He can bring a little jet to the AEW roster. You know,